Good morning. I'm Lieutenant Commander Robert M. Dunn, United States Navy, Commander of the Peabody Veterans Council. Welcome to today's ceremony, and thank you for attending through the broadcast of Peabody Access TV. I'm honored to be speaking to you today on such an important occasion. I wish to thank the Mayor, Ted Bettencourt, Lieutenant Colonel Raymond Erickson, U.S. Air Force retired, Veterans Service Officer Captain Steve Patten, U.S. Army retired, my fellow veterans, and the public for your understanding with our abridged Memorial Day ceremony. We are here today to honor our service members and to remember the sacrifices that they had made of honor and our duty in our country. We are here today to honor our heroes, to remember their achievements, their courage, their dedication, and to say thank you for their sacrifices. The service members we honor today came from all walks of life, but they shared several fundamental qualities. They possessed courage, pride, determination, selflessness, and dedication to duty and integrity. All the qualities that needed to serve a cause larger than oneself. Many of them did not ask to leave their homes to fight on distant battlefields. Many did not volunteer. They did not go to war because they loved fighting. They were called to be part of something bigger than themselves. They were ordinary people who responded in extraordinary ways in extreme times. They rose to the nation's call because they wanted to protect the nation, which has given them and us so much. Since the first shots on Lexington and Concord were fired, our Revolutionary War began. American men and women have answered the nation's call to duty. Millions of Americans have fought and died on battlefields here and abroad to defend freedoms and a way of life. Today, our troops continue to make the ultimate sacrifice, and every year and generation, more Americans step forward and say, I am ready to serve. They follow in the footsteps of generations of fine Americans. Mr. Steve Patten, the City of Peabody Veterans Agent, will now make a brief statement.
Good morning. I wanted to, I thought it was fitting today to talk briefly about the bonds between service members. Less than 1% of citizens of the United States serve in the military. And it's really something, it's an innate value, something inside of them that makes them want to serve a higher purpose, like Commander Dunn said. And I want to talk briefly today about one of my experiences, Captain Patrick Wilson, United States Army, 82nd Airborne Division. He and everyone in our brigade, we ate together, we trained together, and we became a cohesive unit at Fort Bragg. And we really got to know a lot about each other, and you really do become a family. And we went to Afghanistan in 2012, and again, you know, we ate all of our meals together. We shared an office together. Captain Wilson was the head of the dog teams for all of Kandahar province in 2012. On top of that, he was responsible for getting the evidence off of the battlefield, and together we were able to make cases against 200 Taliban members that were captured on the battlefield, and 80 of them went into long-term detention, never to return to hurt people. People, not only the service members of the United States, but also the local nationals that were just trying to have some semblance of freedom and normalcy in their lives. Because when you live in Afghanistan, you go where the men with guns tell you to go. I can remember with Captain Wilson, we would have lunch and talk about how we'd like to make a movie out of all of this someday. But one of the things I remember the most is when ever got really stressful and you're having a hard day and you really feel like it's falling apart, Captain Wilson would be the glue that kept it together for me. So tragically, on October 30th, he lost his life. And, you know, people tend to look at this and be emotional and be sad. And of course, there's that sense of loss. But also, you know, that's not how we honor them. That's not how you honor the fallen. That's not how you should honor people on Memorial Day. The true way to honor them, the right way, is to live your life to the fullest every day. That's what they fought for. So if you're the best you can be, the best doctor, nurse, parent, teacher, employee of the city, employee of your own small business owners, if you're the best you can be every day, the best friend you could be, then you're truly honoring them for the sacrifice they made. And also, sometimes you hear there's a feeling that you shouldn't be enjoying yourself today because it's, you know, a solemn day. You know, Captain Wilson never missed a good barbecue. Okay, so they would want you to enjoy yourself today, responsibly, socially distancing. But enjoy the day and be the best you can be. Thank you.
John. Please stand while Master Sergeant John Pelosi, U.S. Army retired, the unit commander for American Legion Post 153, this year's host organization raises the American flag during the playing of our national anthem. Present. Arms. Ready? Parade, rest. On this Memorial Day, we pray for those who courageously laid down their lives for the cause of freedom. Many examples of this sacrifice inspire us in the selfless love of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ. Bless the families of our fallen troops and fill their homes and their lives with your strength and peace. There are 10 veteran organizations in Peabody that the veterans can join. Each is represented here today, and I will read the names of the deceased members for each for the past year. Normally, there's a drum roll after the reading of each name of our deceased members. However, due to current social distancing policies, there is no drummer in attendance this year. Veterans of Foreign Wars, Louis P. Girolman. Second Corps Cadets, excuse me. Attention! Veterans of Foreign Wars, Louis P. Girolman. Second Corps Cadets, Joe Cavallon, Joe Connery, John Doyle, Gordon Turner, Rick Sampson, George Valancourt. 26th Yankee Division Veterans Association, Timothy Barry, Joseph Connery Jr., Alfred Constance, Edward Langley, Bernard Center, John Skirma, Gordon Turner, George Valancourt. American Legion, Norm Dobson. Disabled American War Vets, Norman Dobson, Joseph Kieran, John McCrory, Dean Triffitt, Francis Dyan. Fleet Reserve Association, Maurice Marston, Norman Dobson, Harold Stamens, Bernard Plant, Alfred Prudhomme, Ralph Reitman. Jewish War Vets, Robert Weaver, Ralph Jonas, Harold Goldstein, Stanley Simon, Lillian Aronson. Marine Corps League of Essex County, Joseph Collins, Louis DeTelio, Norm Dobson. Portuguese American War Veterans, Raymond Silver, Antonio Panetta. Polish Legion American Veterans, Robert K. Dembowski. Units, parade rest. I would now like to introduce the Mayor of the City of Peabody, Honorable Edward Bettencourt, Esquire, who will make his remarks.
Well, good morning. I'm very proud and honored to be here today with all of you. And I know a number of people are here in spirit as well. Our school committee, our city council, Senator Joan Lovely, our Representative Tom Walsh and Ted Spiliotis, and so many residents that are here with us every morning at Cedar Grove Cemetery for this important ceremony. The world can be a difficult place. We're seeing that right now with the coronavirus pandemic. We have incredible sadness and grief, isolation, frustration, discouragement, among many other forms of emotion. And when we see these times of sadness and difficulty and challenges, it always is amazing to me the people that step up and are there to show strength, show compassion, and to help people. Our doctors, our nurses, our healthcare professionals, police officers, firefighters, emergency management, our essential workers, food service providers, everybody who has stepped up and shown courage and been there for one another to try to help as best we can during this time. And it's just wonderful to see during those moments. For centuries, since the birth of our nation, we have also incredibly been hit by difficult moments and challenges. Inhumane treatment of one another, brutal dictatorships, violence, things that are hard to imagine and hard to fathom that actually take place in this world. And time and again, we have had people who have stepped up for us, men and women who have put on the uniform, served us here in America, served us in countries across the world, to protect us, to protect our liberties, and to be there for us. And I often think of that in one of the great parts of my job is I get to meet so many people, and I've heard so many stories from our veterans about personal stories of their service and their family members who have served. And it's just amazing to think of what people have done for us and have given of themselves, the sacrifices they and their families have made. I look around Cedar Grove Cemetery, this beautiful cemetery, and see all the flags of those that have served. And it's amazing to think of those people serving everywhere in this world, with their whole purpose being to protect those people like me, like all of us at home. And it's just something very special and something very meaningful. And we are very lucky to have those people willing to take on these challenges and serve our community and serve our nation and be there for one another. Today is a day where we remember those that have served and those that have passed. And the best we can do, as has been said, is to remember, celebrate their lives, celebrate their service, and just remember what they have meant, their dedication, their devotion, their strength of character, their courage. And we're here today to show that respect and appreciation. God bless our service men and women around the world. God bless those who have served and have passed on. God bless all of our residents, and God bless America. Thank you.
I would like to introduce to you today's speaker, Peabody Veterans Memorial High School, U.S. Air Force JROTC Lead Instructor, Lieutenant Colonel Raymond Erickson, U.S. Air Force, retired. Lieutenant Colonel Erickson is originally from Salem, New Hampshire. Lieutenant Colonel Erickson retired in 2017 after serving 25 years in the United States Air Force. Lieutenant Colonel Erickson enlisted in 1992 as cryptological linguist. He was commissioned as a second lieutenant in 1998. His last command was the commander of the 26th Operational Support Squadron, 67th Cyberspace Wing, Joint Base, San Antonio, Lackland, Texas. Lieutenant Colonel Erickson holds a Bachelor of Arts degree from the East Carolina University, a Master's of Science degree from the University of La Verde, California, a Master's of Arts degree of National Security Studies, Security Affairs and Defense Decision-Making Planning from the Naval Postgraduate School, Monterey, California, a Master's of Degree from the Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia. Lieutenant Colonel Erickson was deployed twice to Iraq and has served numerous CONUS and OCONUS locations. He was awarded the Defense Meritorious Service Medal with 1 Oak Leaf cluster, the Air Force Meritorious Service Medal with 3 Oak Leaf clusters, a Joint Service Commendation Medal, the Air Force Commendation Medal with 3 Oak Leaf clusters, and the Air Force Achievement Medal with 1 Oak Leaf cluster. Lieutenant Colonel Erickson is married to his wife Lisa for 27 years, and they have 2 children. Lieutenant Colonel Erickson.
Morning, everyone. Thank you, Mayor Bettencourt and the City of Peabody for honoring these men and women who gave their lives in service to our country. In the Gospel of John, Jesus says, "Greater love has no one than this, that someone lay down his life for his friends." Today, Memorial Day, we honor those who with their lives have defended the character of who we are as Americans. A country willing to defend a set of ideals, a spirit of selflessness and sacrifice. Now, Lord knows, we don't profess perfection. In our society is full of dysfunction and noise and apathy, trying to drown out this patriotic spirit. The easily distracted will choose political sides and argue whether the conflicts and wars we fought in were justified or unjustified. But the allegiant will continue to highlight the undeniable and eternal legacy of this country's armed forces. This legacy is that generation after generation, we have men and women who put up their hands and say, "Send me, I'll go. Send me, I'll go." Men and women who bravely run towards the sound of gunfire. Men and women ready to face any challenge, even at the risk of their own lives. Men and women like 18-year-old Philip Douglas Quinlan, a Peabody boy, Seaman Quinlan enlisted in the Navy in 1940 and perished on 13 November 1942 while serving aboard the USS Juno in the Battle of Guadalcanal. Philip Quinlan, an ordinary boy from Peabody, Massachusetts, extraordinarily gave his life because he knew, like many of us here today, that freedom is not free. Let his spirit and legacy live in our hearts forever. And in closing, I'd like to thank God for exceptional men and women like Philip Quinlan. I pray that the mourning families of our fallen may find peace and comfort today, asking that God would bless them and continue to bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel Erickson. Attention. Present arms. Ready? Rest. We remember today all those who have come before us, given the great gift of our democratic nation in their lives, their duty, their honor, and the lives were a precious gift that were given to the future of our country and our families. The duty of our veterans, past and present, is the fiber of the word freedom, and is stronger by our recognition of service and sacrifice. We honor that service and sacrifice today. We stand to remember the most honorable among us and continue to carry the burden of their sacrifice, lest we lose sight of what true freedom is. Today is remembering. We stand in honor of them. We walk in their path of duty. Remember the cost. We hold in our heart the cause of freedom. Remember today, Memorial Day, our deceased veterans. Your presence today, and that of the people gathered all across America, is a tribute to all the troops and their families. That is to say, we remember, from the soldiers who shivered and starved through the winters at Valley Forge, to the doughboys who crouched in the muddy trenches of France, to the platoon patrolling the hazy jungles of Vietnam, and the young men and women patrolling Iraq, Afghanistan, and other countries. Remember and honor them all. Thank you for attending today. God bless you, your families, and God bless the troops, and God bless America. Thank you. This completes our ceremony. Dismiss the troops.